What are your expectations for the Saudi Aramco IPO, yet to really come to market, of course? That happens tomorrow. How well received do you think it's going to be?
Good morning. So far, it's done very well in the Saudi market, and hopefully, when it opens tomorrow, we'll be even doing better. I think there is much to go for Aramco, not only in terms of its very professional leadership and work ethic, but also because it is an evolving company that is acquiring not only skills and know-how, but also markets and job opportunities for Saudis. So it's a very, very dynamic and very stable enterprise that deserves to be invested in.
Prince Turki, Matt Miller here in Frankfurt. Everything has seemed to have gone to plan in terms of the Aramco IPO. Although it is a relatively local offering, what is Saudi Arabia prepared to do in order to bring in more foreign investment to the world's biggest oil company?
Well, this is what we're going to see tomorrow when it is open for investors from everywhere. And I think this is where Saudi Arabia has been going for the past few years, is that we're opening up to the world. We're inviting people to come in and look at us and see us for ourselves. Two things, not only for Aramco, but for the Saudi government, that are very important in my view, is that transparency and accountability. And these are part and parcel of King Salman and Prince Mohammed bin Salman's Vision 2030. And as you see from announcements coming on the budget as well, there is equal transparency and accountability.
Can I ask you about geopolitical tensions in the region, Prince Turki? Just in the spring of this year, back in May, there were fears that we were going to see the region headed for more direct conflict. There had been attacks on tankers, attacks on Aramco, of course. Why do you think we have not seen a continuation of that violence?
The kingdom is not a seeker of troubles. It is a peacemaker. And I'll just remind you that the kingdom was instrumental, for example, in ending the war between Eritrea and Ethiopia a couple of years back, and between Eritrea and Djibouti. And this is how we try to operate in our part of the world. We try to bring peace rather than conflict. Others will try otherwise, but we will not be responsive to their provocations, and we will pursue our policies with our friends, not just in the West, but also in our region here, that peace is our primary objective.
Will you work with Qatar in order to achieve peace in the region? They recently have said there are positive signs that the crisis with Saudi Arabia will be resolved. Will Saudi Arabia reciprocate and work towards a solution there?
I'm not in government to be able to give you any indication of where the official engagement between Saudi Arabia and Qatar is. But the initiative for bringing the Qatar dispute to an end has been Saudi Arabia's. And we're the ones who are pushing for Qatar to come back to the fold, as it were, and be a very constructive member of the GCC. And the recent Gulf Cup engagement with Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain, which were the boycotting countries of Qatar, was the sign that these three countries are willing to engage with Qatar in bringing her back to our fold. I think the summit today in Riyadh hopefully will have something to do with that. I'm not privy to the engagements, but I think the signs are that something hopefully will come out of there.
And on that front, will it be a disappointment if the Emir of Qatar is not at that Gulf meeting and only the Prime Minister of Qatar? Who needs to be at the table, Prince Turki?
Well, the invitation went to the Prince of Qatar, and so If he declines to come, I personally will be disappointed, but I think business will go on, and it is something that was the case last year when we had the GCC conference as well. We had several conferences in Ramadan, the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Arab League, and the GCC, where the Emir of Qatar did not attend. But business went on, so it is not going to affect that one way or the other.
Okay, we just see, Prince Turki, that the Qatari Prime Minister is to lead the delegation to Riyadh. That just flashed across the Bloomberg terminal, just as you were saying you would be disappointed if the Prince does not come. I guess that is your reaction then?
That's my personal reaction.